Okay. And I'm just going to have my water and tea off to the side here. I might take a few sips here and there. Okay. Excuse me. And okay, so grab 2 blocks if you can. If you've got those hanging around. We'll start on our backs. And legs can be straight, knees can be bent, feet can be grounded, soles of the feet together. Again, kind of just whatever feels good for your body. I'm going to start off here with my feet grounded, knees pointed up towards the sky, just so I can give my low back a chance to kind of ground into the floor. I can feel the length of my spine. I'm just going to go just a little slower. And go ahead and bring your hands just somewhere to touch your body. And just take a few moments to feel your breath in your hands. So just noticing the rise and the fall, wherever your hands are. So if they're on your ribs or your belly, just feel how your body is breathing. Notice your inhales. Notice your exhales. And my hope and my wish for you is as you start to tune into the breath here, that with each inhale that you take, you fill up a little more, find a little more space. And with each exhale, you just feel tension release from your body, feeling like that weight has been lifted off of your shoulders. And, kind of visualizing that maybe with each breath that you take, filling up, creating more space in your body, not just in your lungs, but in your joints. And then exhaling, releasing any unnecessary tension from the day, from the week, maybe even from the month. We're already like halfway through the month, right? Like let that all go. You need to take a few exhales out through the mouth. Definitely do that. It's a great way to get into the breath. Okay, if you're ready, maybe start to extend the legs out onto the mat, lengthening out through the backs of the legs. Okay, good. And then we'll begin with our first posture. And again, just kind of keeping that nice, gentle breath in mind, exhaling out through the mouth when you need to, finding ways to just let go each time. Okay, we're going to start with bringing our right knee into our chest. Okay, you're welcome to grab behind the knee, like behind the hamstring, okay, or on top of the knee. This can be a tight pull in, okay, it can be a gentle one. You can kind of play going back and forth a little bit, but this is going to be our posture, half wind pose. And again, just find softness, let your joints be heavy, let your muscles soften. So even in these like real simple postures and holds, okay, we can still get into really deep tissue stretching just by holding things just like a little bit longer and letting gravity do the work here. Kind of letting that tension go in your head, neck, and shoulders. Noticing where you start to feel the stretch of your legs. Okay, great. About 30 more seconds here. Finding a little bit more softness. Finding more space, maybe through the left leg, letting it lengthen out a little bit more. Maybe even that right hip crease, even though we've got it folded in, and see if you can find more space there. And then from here, all we're going to do is just bring this left leg in. We're going to plant the left foot onto the mat. Right ankle is going to cross over the left knee, and just open and close without using your hands. Just open and close this right leg. So right knee will come in towards your chest and then open it out. We'll just kind of open the leg a few times, just like this. We're putting some GW40 on our right hip, right? Yeah, just letting it open and close, open and close. Okay. And before we're going to do pigeon pose a little bit later. Okay, so for this round, instead of coming into figure 4 glute stretch, we're going to let the right knee fold in. Okay, and then we're going to use our hands, and I'm going to just place my hands right on top of my shin bone, really. Okay, it's like right under my knee, so that I have like a little bit of extra weight. And again, it's going to put some weight in that hip socket, and then the leg is, in a slight internal rotation. So maybe you feel a little stretch in the outer right hip. And again, this is just going to depend on how tight you are. Okay, but this will be the first phase of the stretch. Just always trying to find new different ways to get into the hips, right? Like we're so used to just going straight into pigeon pose, but there's all different angles in our hip, in our hips and so many different muscles. So it's kind of nice to change up the angle of our knee and our femur bone. Will change the stretch. And you may be surprised the longer you hold it that you're like, oh, I actually feel it now. I know for me, sometimes my body guards the stretch, and it takes like 30 seconds or longer for everything to kind of relax and release. And then I start to get into the stretch because my body's like holding tension to protect itself instead of letting go, right? So it's so important for us to use our breath here. Got just a few more moments here in this little hip twisty prep. And then as you can, imagine what we're going into next, we're going to start to bring that right knee all the way across. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to straighten out my left leg, and then bring my right leg all the way across to the left, focusing on keeping the right shoulder down into the mat. So I'm going to extend the right arm out to the right. And then again, I'm not going to worry too much if my knee is touching the ground or not. It's really the only thing touching the ground is my big toe, actually. Okay, so this is where, if you wanted to use your props, you can definitely prop them underneath your leg if it feels more comfortable, or you may feel a deeper stretch just by crossing the body. And then really focusing on that right shoulder blade, that right shoulder down into the ground. Okay, remembering your hand is an extension of your heart. So really let your hand soften, let your chest open, your arm extend out. Maybe even your focus turns towards your right hand. Good. And just breathe. You can even use your left hand to add a little bit of extra weight on top of your right femur bone, your right leg. It feels right in your body. Okay, staying here, okay, or again, just very gently, you can take that bottom leg, the left leg, okay, you can bend it and maybe catch it with your right hand, okay, just maybe just coming into just like a little baby quad stretch. And again, you know, it's different when you're warmed up versus starting off doing this stretch. So, you know, do what you need to. It's not necessary, it's totally optional. Okay, but we're gonna continue to stay in the twist, whether you're grabbing the foot or not. Okay. And because we're holding this a little bit longer, if you want to add any movement here, a little bit of rocking, that is absolutely welcome. Okay. Yeah, especially with that quad stretch, it feel good to kind of look to the left and then kind of rock to the right a little bit. Take a nice big deep inhale in. Exhale, release the hand and the foot, and then slowly come back to the center any way that feels good. Take your time. And then just extend that right leg all the way out, and then just give your legs a little shake out, a little wag if you need to fit. And then straighten, little wave of the feet here. Okay, good. And then we'll just start all over on the second side. Okay, so we'll start with the left knee into our chest. Okay, and again, grabbing any way that feels good behind the leg. Okay, on the shin. And then again, any degree of bend here, right? You can come into like nice, like tight posture, or it can be nice and relaxed. Okay. You can kind of play going back and forth a little bit. And really it's just about finding your breath, letting gravity do the work, holding the posture, even if you're kind of moving in between a little more intense, a little more relaxed. Even if you're moving a little bit, you're still finding like that stillness in the posture, moving mindfully and holding. And again, with each inhale that you take, fill up, find a little bit more space. And with each exhale, releasing any tension. Noticing the difference in the sides. What does this side need? What can you do more of? What can you do less of? Okay, just a few more moments on this side. Maybe find a little bit more length through that right leg. Even with the compression in the left hip, can you find more space, more breath there? Okay, great. And we're going to take that right foot, go ahead and place it onto the ground, left ankle over the right knee, and then we'll work on those little squeaky hips, opening and closing the knee and the hip here, just moving the leg back and forth. We'll call it a squeaky hip pose. Definitely feeling really tight on this side when I open up the knee a little bit. All right, and then when you feel ready, okay, we'll bring our leg just gently across the body, just ever so slightly, keeping the ankle connected to the knee, and then hands we'll just join on top of the leg here. And again, just giving a little bit of weight to hip sockets or relieve some pressure. And then again, It may take a few deep breaths before you really start to feel the stretch. And again, just getting into different angles here for the outer glute. Softening the shoulders. All right, there we go. Finally, I'm starting to feel the posture. Take a moment for my body to let go. Okay, good. And then we're going to slowly start to come into the twist. And again, extending the right leg out. Okay, and then left knee will come across the body, grounding the left shoulder into the mat as you extend your left arm out to the left. Good. And again, really make it about the chest opening up, not so much about how far down the knee needs to go. Hold here, inner twist. Having that right hand if that feels good. And then again, nice gentle energy out through that left hand. So, again, your hand is extension of your heart. So really letting that heart open out through the left. Even if you've got a wall in the way or a bookshelf or anything, okay. Yeah, so let that energy be nice and open through the left arm. Nice full deep breath. As we begin to twist, our breath tends to get a little bit shorter, so try to find a little more length on the exhale. Okay, and again, good. This is totally optional to come into the quad stretch. So right leg will bend, and then you can use your hand to grab your toes maybe. If you want to, rock a little bit by, kind of rolling it to the right and then back over to the left. You can do that as well, or just do it a few times. That feels good. Remembering the longer we hold postures, again, getting to that deep connective tissue, allowing some change and transformation to happen in our body. Okay, great. Release your foot. Take your time, slowly coming back to the center anyway. Oh, it feels good. Extending the legs out nice and long. And again, just give them a nice little shake out. Okay, really nice. Okay, let's go and just hug both legs into our chest again, behind the knees or on top of the legs, whatever feels good. Just hugging in, gently rocking from side to side. Okay, awesome. We'll ground the feet back down onto the mat. Okay, we're just going to do one little baby bridge here. Okay, so feet about hip distance apart. We'll go ahead and lift the hips up. And when you lift your hips up, still let your knees be the highest point of the posture. Okay, so we're in this nice long diagonal. So it might be, not as big like if we were doing like a back bend. Okay, so let's make this a little stronger. Ribs pull in. You can use your hands here, make sure your glutes and your hamstrings are nice and engaged. Okay, pressing the backs of your arms down into the mat. See if you can walk your shoulder blades underneath you a little bit more, still maintaining the height of your hips and your shoulders, right? In that nice long diagonal. Good. And just hold here, breathe here. If you want to play with, lifting your heels up and toes up, I'm just kind of rocking through my feet a little bit here. Okay. It's totally optional. Again, I'm just doing that just because I was like in my sneakers all day today. Just stretch my feet out a little bit. Just hold this bridge in your little fire and strength mixed in with our postures. Okay, a few more moments here. Less is more. So you can always lower the hips down a little bit lower if you need to. Take a nice big deep inhale in. Exhale, slowly lower the hips back down towards the earth, and just little baby window wipers or big window wipers, just going back and forth. Okay, then when you're ready, you'll just roll over onto your side, whatever side, slowly come on up. Okay, make our way into tabletop. Okay. I'm gonna sneak a little drink of my tea or if you want a sip of water, okay. Okay, from here, just a nice gentle round of cat and cow. Grounding through the hands, grounding through the spine. Good. Moving around a little bit if you need to. You can make little circles here, shifting around from side to side. Okay. All right, great. Finding some stillness. Okay, we'll extend this right arm up towards the sky. Okay. Let's circle the wrist out a few times in one direction. Circle the wrist in the opposite direction, and then we'll come in to thread the needle. Right arm under the left. Okay. Dropping down onto your shoulder. Good. Squaring the hips, so bump the left hip back just a little bit, and then left arm can be wherever you like, up towards the top of the mat. You can drape it behind your back, coming into the bind. Okay, and again, we're going to hold this posture a little longer than we're used to. Okay, so I invite you to close your eyes, connect with your breath. So we're getting into that upper back twist as we, keep the hips nice and square here. You can just kind of take notice like how your breath has changed when you start to twist, and see if you can just like smooth it out, making those inhales and exhales nice and even. And again, just letting go when you can, finding space when you breathe. And a few more moments here in the twist. Take your time. We're going to slowly start to bring this left hand underneath the left shoulder. Gently start to unwind, and again, go really slow. Reach that right arm back up towards the sky. And exhaling, lowering that right hand down. Okay. A nice little round of cat and cow again, just so you can kind of feel the difference between the sides. Okay, we'll find a nice neutral tabletop, and then we'll go to the second side. Left arm up towards the sky. We'll circle the wrist out just a few times. in one direction and then in the other. Nice. And then slowly threading the needle, left arm under the right. Good. Again, choosing whatever you'd like to do with this right arm. You can flow between both of them. But again, just really thinking about the hips squaring, right? So we want to bump the right hip back, keep the length through the spine, the side body. Just breathe. Moments here on this side. All right, slowly start to bring that right hand underneath your shoulder, grounding down into the mat to open wide, nice and slow. Ooh. Left arm back up towards the sky, open up. Good. And then lowering the arm back down. And again, nice gentle round of cat and cow. And again, of course, side bending, circles. Okay. Okay, perfect. Okay, great. We're gonna grab our blocks. Okay, when you're ready. And we're gonna just put them at the top of our mat here, okay? We're going to step the right foot forward. Okay, we're gonna come into our low lunge here, okay? And of course, if you need to have any padding for this left leg, definitely grab that little pillow or blanket or anything. Okay. And we're gonna come into our low lunge. So try not to be too stacked up. You can always bump this left leg back. So you want this leg to be like nice and long as possible. Okay. And of course, I'm grounding into my right knee stacked on top of my ankle. Okay. And then blocks can be whatever height that feels good. Okay. And remember, it's all about like grounding for us. All right. And we're going to hold this posture again a little longer than you kind of want to. Okay, so it might get a little uncomfortable, so just take breaks if you need to kind of shift back. Okay, but grounding the hands, roll the shoulders, lift the chest and the heart. Okay, you can always close your eyes here. Here we are in our posture. Okay, just breathe. And again, you can always make the blocks higher. You can ditch the blocks, whatever feels good. Okay, this is all about the left the hip flexor, the front of the, the front of the leg, opening up so as I do have my toes untucked. Again, that's totally optional. If it feels better for your knee tucked, you can keep them tucked. Okay, I just have mine pointed back. It feels better on my knee that way. Just breathe. Just keep softening. And this is again another one, right? We practice low lunge all the time, right? But when we actually sit and hold it, it's just like a whole other experience. Okay, so definitely just like listen to your body, listen to what you need. Okay, take a nice Big, deep inhale in. Good. Exhaling, we're going to gently shift the hips back, just come into a little half split. Okay, we're just going to make this just really active. So I'm just flexing and pointing through my right ankle for my little half split. Okay. And then we'll slowly just bring that right leg back underneath us. And we'll switch sides. Okay, so we'll go straight into that low lunge. Okay, and then, I like to, kind of like, kind of put the poses together, right? So this is pretty much the same posture that we did on our back, right? But our foot's up. Okay, so think about that, finding that length in that back leg. Okay, we're, creasing the hip, this front hip. Okay, finding that length, finding that hold. Okay, grounding to the left foot, hands are grounded, roll the shoulders, lift the chest and the heart. Okay, here we are in our low lunge. And again, you can close your eyes and just breathe. Okay, any height. If you have one block, you can have it under the left leg also. Okay, you're gonna share your blocks. Really letting gravity do the work here. Also, you can think of this a little bit as the back bend, right? We're like in a cobra pose in our spine. Okay, so yeah, see if you can lift your chest up a little bit higher. Don't spend a lot of time in that opening of the chest in that like nice curved back. Here's our chance to explore that. So it's a little tight. Almost there. Okay. It's like the halfway point of this last minute. Okay. Yeah. All right, 30 more seconds, y'all. You can do it. Just breathe. Just relax. Okay, good. Gently take your time, shifting back into our little half split. Okay, and again, I'm just flexing and pointing to the ankle a few times, kind of rocking it out. All right. And we'll step this left leg back. Okay. We'll ditch the blocks unless you want to use them. We're just going to come into downward dog. We gotta say we did downward dog today, okay? So we ground through the hands, tuck the toes under. And again, if you want to use the blocks under your hands, you can, okay? Lift the hips up. And then just notice like how your shoulders feel, the backs of your legs. Surprisingly, my hamstrings feel a little open. It's my calves and my ankles that feel a little tight in downward dog. Okay, so just observe your body. Notice how it feels. Okay. Okay, let's take 3 nice big deep breaths here in downward dog. Okay, inhaling in the nose. Exhaling out. Inhaling in. And exhaling out. Let's take one more nice big deep inhale in. And exhale out. Good. And then slowly just begin to bend the knees. Walk your hands to your feet to your hands. We can kind of meet in the middle here. And we'll just meet in this nice big forward fold. Again, you're welcome to use blocks if you'd like. Okay, really just kind of hang out here in the forward fold. I actually didn't really plan any like super deep hamstring stretches, but downward dog and forward fold are, such great hamstring openers. Okay, yeah, so definitely, move around a little bit, sway a little bit from side to side. You can shake the head yes, shake the head no. Sometimes I even like to lift up a little bit higher, dangle my arms. That feels really good. Okay, everything goes here in our little playtime here in our forward fold. Actually, why don't I have you here, just kind of thinking about twisting, okay? Let's actually, again, block or no block. I'm going to grab a block, just place it in the center, right underneath my chest. If I were to go up and down, halfway lift, okay? I'm going to ground my right hand into the block. I'm going to bend my right knee and then I'm going to reach my left arm up towards the sky, okay? And then instead of thinking of like folding forward, think of like Ardha Uttanasana halfway lift. So it's almost like we were going to do like thread the needle, right? So lift left arm up towards the sky and then just bring your hand onto your low back. Notice if your hips are kind of square. Can you lengthen out a little bit more from your tail out through the crown of your head? Maybe your block has to go higher. Maybe you have to lift up onto your fingertips. Okay. Good. Let's stay for another inhale in. Exhale, gently release. Okay. And then we'll do that same thing on the second side. Left hand grounds. Find that halfway lift in your spine. Left knee bends. Okay, right leg straightens if you can. Okay, right arm up towards the sky. And keep lifting through that left side. Bring that right hand onto your low back and then just check your hips. Yeah. Right shoulder up towards the sky a little bit more. Nice big deep inhale in. Exhaling, gently releasing back down, coming back to that forward fold. This feels so good. I don't know why I didn't plan any forward folds today or big hamstring stretches, but this feels great. This feels right in the moment, right? Okay, good, everyone. Okay, let's go ahead and bend the knees. We'll slowly roll up to come up to standing. It's never too late to add some postures that feel just right in the moment, right? Go and reach your arms over your head. And then releasing your hands and your arms down by your side. Okay, and then let's just curl all the way back down, starting from the crown of the head. Just sucking the chin into the chest, gently rounding through the upper back. And again, knees can soften here. Let your arms dangle and be heavy as you start to roll down. Okay, this is such a nice stretch for our back and our spine. Also, of course, hamstrings. Okay, and then let's slowly walk back on out. And we're really just going to walk out back into like a downward dog, just as a little transition. You can always drop back down onto your knees. Okay, but let's come into pigeon pose. Okay, right knee towards your right wrist. Okay, and then bumping that left leg back, and again using any props into your hips. Okay, but hopefully again you kind of see the theme. Slow lunge, half wind. Okay, here we are in our pigeon. Okay, feeling the length through that left front of the body. Okay, and then we'll just fold over the legs here. And again, using any props if you wish. Okay, and just enjoy pigeon. Okay, yeah, relax. Again, with each inhale that you take, find more space, create more space, fill up, expand. And then when you exhale, releasing, letting go of the tension, right? Like blockage, maybe energy blocks. That we sometimes it can be mental, right? But it can also be physical. So see if you can start to like let that go, let that energy move through your body. And then it's all about like our deep connection, connecting muscles, right? a deep tissue connection. So just like, whoo, getting into it, breathing. Okay, take your time. Slowly begin to walk your hands under your shoulders. All right, and then all we're gonna do is just switch sides, okay? So if you want to come into downward dog, you can. I'm just gonna jump. I'm gonna jump back into tabletop. Okay, I'm just gonna step back into table. No jumping today, okay? And then we'll just go to the second side when you're ready. If you need to do a few cat and cows, that's fine. Okay. So left knee towards your left wrist. Nice smooth transitions. And then reaching that right leg back. Yep. And using the props that you'd like. Settling in as you need. Ooh, this side. This side, this entire class is just like not wanting to let go at all. It is holding all the tension. So again, just inviting that breath in. Take a little time. We've got time. Be patient, be kind to your body. Don't let go when it needs to. Thanks everyone on the second side. Okay, we're gonna meet in Sphinx pose. Okay, so take your time coming on out of this. Yeah, again, if you were like even yourself out, go for it. Okay. We're just gonna meet on our tummies. We've got about 4 more postures left. Okay, so we'll try not to rush us through. I just want to make sure we get them all in. Okay, so we'll come into Sphinx. Legs can be separated or together, again, whatever feels good for your low back. Elbows can be as tight in as you'd like. Okay, or slightly forward. You can interlace your hands. Okay, and then this is the posture. We're just going to hold our little Sphinx pose. Okay. Front of the hips are nice and open. Again, back bending, lifting up through the chest. Don't force anything. And again, I invite you to close your eyes. If it feels good. Okay, take breaks if you need to. I know when I was nursing my back injury, actually just making a little pillow with my hands was a big enough back bend for me. So, you can always come into that posture as well too if this holding this is a little too much. Okay. It's gonna listen to your body. Again, a posture that we need to spend more time in because we are sitting a lot. And this nice little back bend. Notice you're holding on to your glutes. See if you can soften your glutes, soften your legs. Stay for about 15 more seconds. Nice big deep inhale in, and then exhaling, just gently releasing, just lowering down. Like some slow, any little wiggles here or little window wipers is fine. Okay. And then we're going to come into Sphinx pose on the side. Okay, seal pose. Okay, so we're just going to roll over onto the right side. Okay, and we're going to stack our knees, stack our hips, but instead of having our knees like 90 degrees forward this way, we want our knees in line with our hips back this way. Okay, so you're just going to walk your feet back so your knees are in line with your hips. So knees, hips, ribs, shoulders, head, all in that nice long line. And I'm just propped up on my forearm. You can use a block if you'd like. Okay, this is the posture though. Okay, so this is it. It's like our big side banana stretch on the side here. Okay, this may be enough for you. Stay here, or you can extend the legs straight. So again, everything's in one nice long line. I have to rein this in personally just because I'm like so bendy and like unaware of my body. So I have to really think about bringing my ribs in. I have to kind of, just kind of be aware of my core so I'm not just like splaying everything out. So I keep in that nice alignment. And then I get into that really deep tissue in the side body. Okay, so this is the posture, or if you'd like to go deeper, again, you can extend the arm as well. Okay, your choice, whatever feels good. Okay, I'm gonna stay on the forearm. Okay, I'm not gonna hold this one too long, just want to make sure we have time for the last posture. Okay. I know the tendency is to want to really like kind of look down like at your toes or down towards the ground, but see if you can suck your chin in and kind of gaze out and forward a little bit so you stay in that nice long alignment. As I'm telling you this, I'm going to look down to kind of keep track of how long we're holding the posture for. Okay, nice big deep inhale in. Exhale, just bend the knees and you can gently just like lower down for a moment. Ooh, okay. Just flip over, roll over onto the left side. Okay, I'm going to stay facing you all, so I'm just going to flip all the way around to the other end of the mat. And again, just kind of setting yourself up here. Knees will bump back, so my toes are towards the wall. Nice stacked up here, nice long line. Okay, and it is okay if one side wants something different. If you can't extend your legs out on this side, that's totally fine. Okay, just honor your body. Okay, or maybe you could straighten the arm on the other side, but this one you can't. Okay, again, it's totally fine. Okay, it's just really about getting to that nice big side stretch. Okay, good. And then again, if you're anything like me, this posture can be a little twingy for me a little bit. Like I feel like a little like out of alignment. So I have to really kind of just be aware of my core. Okay, I'm not doing like a side plank or anything, but I'm just like bringing my ribs in, just reining it in just a little bit. Okay, so I'm not thinking so much about flexibility. I just gotta let myself be a little strong in my center. Okay. Good. You'll definitely, if you're have a little imbalances, you'll definitely feel one side versus the other. It is pretty crazy, this little side stretch. Okay, let's go ahead and soften the knees and then gently just soften down. Again, just give yourself a little break. Okay. And then we're going to set ourselves up. This will be the last posture. We're going to come into Shavasana. Okay. You can come into regular old Shavasana. Okay. I do have this using our blocks for supported fish. Okay. You can have your top block, the highest level for your pillow, and then the second block is on the medium height, and of course you can always adjust these levels. Okay, but the head block's always a little bit higher. Okay, and if you only have one block, that's totally fine. Use it for underneath the ribs. Okay, the shoulder blades, I should say. So you get that nice little like back bend through the chest, opening up through the heart. Okay, you can use pillows for this as well. Lots of options. Okay, and then there's also good old fashioned Shavasana. Okay. All right. So again, you'll kind of know with the blocks when you have them in the right spot because it feels good. You'll know when they're in the wrong spot because it kind of hurts to breathe, to be honest. Okay, so just make your way into your supported fish posture, supported bend here. Good. Again, legs can be your choice. Bent knees, straight legs, soles of the feet together, knees out nice and wide. Yeah, I'm gonna come into Supta Baddha Konasana here. Arms can be out to the sides, or again, they can also, come in to touch your body as well too. That's fine. Undoing our day, our week, month. Okay, right. A lot of the postures we did today, right? Like opening up our chest, opening up the front of our body. Okay, from sitting, from being on the couch, on the computer, kind of like rounded over. Okay, we kind of expose the front of our body in tonight's practice to really feel open space, getting to that connective tissue, allowing ourselves to take up space and then release any unnecessary tensions in our body and our mind and blockage. We could really feel that here in this last posture, just letting that all go. Starting fresh, starting anew here. Really letting ourselves receive the benefits of our practice. Slowly start to deepen your breath. Of course, you're always welcome to stay a little bit longer. I'm hearing this beautiful background noise of the rain out my window. So stay longer if you need to. Start to wiggle our fingers and our toes. Relax on your pillows. Okay. Gently stretch your arms up over your head. Okay, and if you have the space and it feels right, maybe just make like 1 or 2 circles with your arms. Arms can be straight or bent. Just move your arms a little bit in one direction and the other. Yeah, just a couple times, maybe like 1 or 2 circles in each direction. And then bringing your feet onto the ground. If your legs are straight or in Baddha Konasana, you can use your arms to help guide your legs up. When you roll off the blocks, catch yourself with your arms. Pause for a moment. And then you'll slowly make your way up to a seated position, sitting on a block if you'd like. Grabbing your cup of tea if you need to. And just roll the shoulders back just a few times. Let's just do a couple head circles too. Why not? We're here, might as well. Just go back and forth a few times in each direction. Okay. Good. And just bring your palms together at your heart center when you're ready. Take a nice big deep inhale in through your nose. Big exhale through your mouth. And slowly just begin to smile in honor of your practice. Namaste.